Howdy, folks. I'm very serious business bunny Brian.
I'm Flower Bunny Amber.
And here's some more business. Alright, folks. Our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Send Him Any More Money? My fiancé gets paid bi-weekly, and honestly, his paychecks are trash. Financially, I'm better off than him, and it truly doesn't bother me until it directly affects me. It could be argued that I'm greedy. Honestly, I was used for money by everyone. Friends, family, fiancé's family, for years. So now I'm extra greedy with my money, and I honestly refuse to loan money to anyone anymore. I'm out thousands. But for the most part, helping my fiancé out truly doesn't bother me. I love him. He's a great guy, and his work is his passion, so I understand him not going elsewhere. I wish I loved my job like he does. So that's just a bit of backstory for why I did what I did today. So basically, I give my fiancé money sometimes. Play money, or even things like bill money. If he needs new clothes or shoes, or for work, I enjoy giving him money for it because I like spoiling him. He gets nice things, and I'm financially able to do this, and it does make me feel good. I love it, but again, I don't want my money going to anyone else. Well, today, he was meeting up with his mom and grandmother, and afterwards, he was going to buy a suit because he landed a big gig. I sent him $400 and told him to get the suit that he wanted, which was $340. It's important to note that he does have the ability to try paying me back when I give him the money, but to be blunt, he doesn't get enough money to pay me back. So I send him the money and he leaves. Well, he just called me back to see if I would loan him another $160. I asked if he had found a better suit that he liked more and informed me that he hadn't, but he no longer had the money for the suit because his mom and grandmother wanted to go out to eat for seafood and he treated them to the meal. I asked why he would spend my money on them. I don't get along with either of them, and I've already cut them off financially years ago. He said that he felt like he had to, as they kept manipulating him. We really want seafood. Too bad we can't afford it. We haven't had seafood in so long. I wish somebody would just give us seafood, etc., etc., etc. I told him no, that he would have to find a cheaper alternative. It's not my fault that he chose to use my money to provide them with a meal when it was supposed to be for a suit. My best friend, who is here, says that I'm a jerk because she knows what it's like being backed into a corner by family, and he probably didn't want to spend that money on them, but it's hard to say no when you're backed up against the wall. Am I the jerk? Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
I'm gonna say OP is probably not the jerk here. She gave her partner this money with the expectation that he would buy a suit. And I understand that it's a little complicated because they are in a relationship where OP has more money, so there's kind of like a power imbalance there.
Yeah.
But this wasn't like a necessity or something. Like, she gave him the money, and he's an adult. He can spend it how he wants, but he can't expect OP to then bail him out.
Yeah, I think it's a complicated situation because there is an imbalance in the power dynamic here and how the money is distributed, and it doesn't necessarily sound like a clear-cut case of like financial abuse or anything like that. So I don't think that OP's being financially abused, but I think that it's well, again, like, she gave him money for a certain reason, and he does earn his own money. It sounds like she pays for most of the bills, and so this doesn't seem like she's trying to actively like manipulate him.
Right. It seems like she just doesn't want his family getting her money because of something they've done in the past. And like, which, you know, he did it anyway, and she didn't like say, okay, now you have to pay me back, or any number of things she could have said. She just said, okay, well, now you can't get the suit, which is, I feel like, a natural consequence. Like, if you give someone fun money and they spend it on other things than what they need, it's just kind of like the natural consequence. So it doesn't feel like overly punitive to me. It just feels like, okay, you spent the money. And like, $400 is more than we get in a month for fun money anyway. So like,
well, it's difficult. I mean, she sounds like she has a lot of money, and I know that she's been hurt in the past. And another difficulty I think that she's facing is if it's not just this one time, right? These people who she doesn't really care for will continue to hound OP's partner until he gives up this money. So I think that they need to have a good long conversation about these boundaries. And it does sound like this is a boundary that she kind of established, that she didn't want him to be sharing this kind of money. So it is a little bit of a sticky situation. I mean, I think there are some gray areas in here.
Well, it's one of those, like, if someone is, someone is going to, like, give in to their families if their family asks for money and they just, hop on it, like, okay, you can have all the money you want. Like, that does become a problem. It sounds like this is probably a pattern of behavior of his family badgers him into doing things and he pays for it. And, like, it's tough because, like, yes, he should be able to do those things, but he should also, like, again, if he has a certain amount of money, then if he does that, he doesn't have the rest of that money. OP shouldn't have to finance the meal and the suit.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair. And there are certainly, again, conversations to be had around these kinds of things, and they need to make sure that they're on the same page when it comes to finance. And it might be better to instead allocate fund money in such a way where they actually get a certain allowance so that they actually have the choice to spend their money how they want to.
Yeah, and I think that's a much better, like, I like the idea of having, the fund money, and then when it's gone, but at least he has the say in how he spends it.
Yeah. So, and then that's not him being unable to spend money the way he wants to or spend money on his family. But again, it's a sticky situation because anytime there is a power dynamic like this, it's really cause a lot of resentment in a relationship, and it can cause one person to feel really minimized no matter how good the other person's intentions are. So let me know what you folks think. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Buying My Girlfriend a Skirt? I am a 32-year-old male, and I was going to meet up with some friends with my girlfriend, a 28-year-old female. She sat down on a bench at the bus stop and did not realize it was wet, and it got on her skirt. She thought it was some urine, but I don't think that it was that. It wasn't brown or yellow. I suggested that we go and it would dry off, but she didn't want to and had convinced herself that it was urine. She asked me to go to a nearby store and buy her a pair of knickers and a new skirt, but I didn't want to, as I did not want to be seen as a creep buying women's clothing. I offered her some unisex pants instead, but she insisted and said that she really wanted a skirt. She then went and got her skirt, and we took the next bus, and I thought that was the end of it. But when we got back home, she was upset with me and said that I should have bought it for her, or at least come into the store with her, as it was embarrassing to be in there like that. But it was embarrassing for me too, and I shop at that store, and did not want to become known as the creep who buys women's clothing. I had offered to buy her pants, but she declined. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Yeah, I think OP's being a jerk here and is overthinking this too much. Like, I think it's very normal for people to buy clothes for their partners. And so, like, to automatically jump on, everyone's going to think I'm a creep. Like, I don't think people are really going to think twice.
Well, one, people shouldn't think you're a creep no matter what clothing you want to buy.
Yeah,
right?
Of course. Absolutely. I just meant, like, there are judgmental people in this world, unfortunately. Yeah. And that's, like, you bring up a really good point. Like, anyone should be able to buy a skirt if they want.
Yeah.
But because judgmental people exist, like, I think that's, like, he's thinking about it too hard. Probably most people aren't even going to care.
Yeah, I mean, well, it just feels so out of touch, out of tune, and that's the biggest problem I have here. He could have gone in there and bought any clothes that he wanted to, and no one would have thought any differently of him for it. People are always buying clothes for whatever reason, and it's none of anyone's business as to why you're buying a pair of clothing.
Yeah, and, like, I know he frequents the store, but again, the employees are really not paying that much attention to what you're buying. They're just getting through their day.
And if you normally buy men's clothes, and then suddenly one day you buy girls' clothes, they're probably going, quotations, they're probably going to be like, oh, he's buying clothes for his girlfriend.
Probably. And, I mean, even if people could think things, like, it's a store. It's not like you have to see these people all the time. And, like, if they're judgmental people, like, why do their opinions matter? You shouldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
Buy all the skirts you want.
And I also kind of want to touch on the girlfriend a little bit here. It sounds like she sat in water, and then she was demanding that she get a new skirt. And I don't know what the situation is. Like, it seems like there's a lot of back and forth here between them as to what the situation is. And I don't know that she should have been all that embarrassed to go into a store and buy clothes either.
Well, she thinks she sat in pee, which, like, it's gonna, if it was pee, it looks like she peed herself. Like, I can understand feeling embarrassed about that. He says it was some kind of brown stain, so it's going to be very visible.
Well, he said it was did he say it was brown?
He said it was brown, not yellow.
I see.
And so probably muddy water, but that's going to be very visible on a skirt. So I get not wanting to walk in when you're wet and have a stain on your butt.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. So let me know what you folks think. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, our last letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Letting My Stepdaughter Use My Daughter's Cheerleading Uniform? I'm a 48-year-old male, and I married my current wife a few months ago, and now we live together with my only daughter, a 16-year-old female, Lucy. My wife has an older daughter, a 21-year-old female, who is in college and wants to pursue a career in fashion. I have tried to generate stronger bonds between my new wife and her daughter with Lucy because I think that she needs an active female figure in her life. Lucy's mom lives traveling around the world because of her work as a humanitarian worker. She's a great mother, and personally, she is obviously not as present in our daughter's daily life as we would all like her to be. Lucy's relationship with my wife is very good now, but she doesn't seem to connect with her new stepsister. Well, last weekend, my daughter was sleeping at a friend's house and my stepdaughter was visiting. At one point, she entered my daughter's room. I'm not sure why. She said that she wanted to look at herself in Lucy's makeup mirror. She saw my daughter's cheerleading uniform that was folded over the chair and asked me if she could use it to take some pictures for Instagram. She is very active in social media for her fashion career, posting different outfits and looks. And I said yes, without doubt. I assume that teenage girls don't mind each other using others' clothes and things like that, especially as it was her stepsisters and not some strangers. She posted the pictures, and very soon my daughter had texted me very mad and said that I shouldn't have let her use it. I honestly didn't think I did anything wrong. I think that Lucy is trying to generate conflict because she does not like her stepsister. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Yeah, I think Opie's definitely being a jerk here. This is your daughter's property. And, like, I know you see them as stepsisters, but you've been married for, like, what, a month?
Yeah.
These are not people with a sisterly bond. And, like, even sisters need to have boundaries on, like, clothes sharing. You know, and she should have asked your daughter. Like, I think it's very clear that she went into your daughter's room with the intent of using something. You don't just go into someone's room to look in a mirror. Like, presumably you have other mirrors in your house. And, like, it seems like she knew what she was doing was going to upset Lucy, and she asked you instead because you say yes to everything.
I think that she shouldn't have even entered the room to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
And she entered the room. This is an invasion of privacy, for one. And then, on top of that, she used your daughter's possessions without her permission, which is another big bad thing to do, right? And OP, you're enabling her to violate your daughter's boundaries, your daughter's very reasonable boundaries. And that's not a good thing to do. I know you want them to be close, but the way they're going to get close is by spending time with each other and bonding over mutual activities, not by her randomly going into your daughter's room and pilfering it.
Right. It seems like what you're doing is the exact opposite. You're going to make it so that she does not like Lucy so Lucy does not like her at all because you're just letting her walk all over Lucy.
Yeah, exactly. So let me know what you folks think. Anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks. It's tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she's got a oh so funny joke for us.
What do you call an owl that does magic tricks?
Well, I call an owl who does magic tricks Samuel because that's the owl that does magic tricks in our neighborhood. I mean, you've seen Samuel's magic tricks, right?
No.
Oh, really? You haven't? Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, he does the whole disappearing act, and he does like some really cool things, like some ring things. You know what I'm talking about? Like when they take the rings and they're like bloop bloop bloop. So yeah, that's Samuel.
Houdini.
Oh, Houdini. I see. That's another rival magician bird owl, and he and Samuel do not get along. They don't get along at all. It's a mess. And I have Earl Grey. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for watching. Happy Friday, Junior.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Thanks to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Amber, we're in desperate need of some kind of moral guidance here. Can you please provide us with a moral, but make it snazzy?
Snazzy? Whose clothes are those? Not yours? Then don't lend them out.
I think that works. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.